Hi,
Hello, Paula and Ali.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. How are
Great.
you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm talking to you guys. I'm excited to be talking to you guys. This show is awesome. It's a definite surprise and delight for me. I think your characters are just they're so relatable in so many
Oh,
different ways, even with this show taking place at an imaginary dream production studio. And I know you guys are probably spending a lot of time talking about your characters individually. So I thought maybe we could spend a little bit time maybe flipping the script a little bit on that. And I'd love to know if you had to describe each other's characters, how
Oh.
and the what they bring to this show, how would you go about doing that? Now, I'm going to start with Allie,
yeah.
who is Paula.
Oh, Paula is a boss. I mean, well, she's literally my boss. And, I think Janelle really looks up to this woman and just, they've been together for so long. She knows her inside and out. She knows what she wants to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner. She knows what time, to be there, what time to
She
bring her
knows
coffee.
too much about her.
Too much, and I think she's kind of fallen into this space where that's what her identity is. And as much as she respects her, she also wants to figure out who she is on her own. But, she just thinks Paula's incredible. Like as she is, She's iconic.
Absolutely. And now, Paula, who's Janelle?
Janelle is, I think Paula looks at Janelle in both terror that she's going to lose her because she knows she's talented and she knows she's got a vision herself. But in order for her to not lose her terror of becoming insignificant, she's got to hold on to it and make it kind of a team because she's got this new kind of magic around her that's new and burgeoning and like exciting. And Paula Persimmon feels like all her magic is slowly draining out of her body. So it's like she
Yes.
needs that life's blood to keep her with her.
Life's
And
blood.
also just to feel not alone because she's feeling like she's going to be kicked out and be alone.
Right.
And she's got this collaborator. But I think the thing that's realistic about the way Paula's written is that she is also full of, you know what, because she really does keep her under a bushel. She
Right.
doesn't. She lies and says, "Oh no, I've been pushing for her to be a director." Never said a
No.
word about it because she was in terror, and that's the competitive thing in creative atmospheres of like,
Yeah.
if I
Absolutely.
help you, then that will take something away from me.
Yeah.
And the big lesson in it is if we collaborate and we all collaborate, we're lifting each other up, and we're all going to get it done, and we're
Yeah.
all great. So that
Yes.
it's a real journey that Paula takes because she is
Right.
flawed. She's flawed.
I know I totally see exactly how you guys have described it. I think the show is very much capturing that relationship that as you said, Paula, this idea that when we collaborate and work together, it's a success for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And this
Yes.
sort of idea
Yeah.
of being individuals, it doesn't really work. So I think that's such a great lesson and message to take away. And you guys were touching on it as well, working in creative environments. This show is set in a production studio environment where dreams are made, which feels like a behind the scenes look at creativity. And I
Yes.
wanted to
Yeah.
know for both of you, being that you've worked in this industry and you've seen a lot, did you draw on any of your own experiences to bring your characters to life in this world?
Oh, I definitely did
Yeah.
with being at Saturday Night Live for so long as a writer and
Yeah.
then working with generations that came in that were literally like 25 years younger than me. And I would just be like,
Showing you
either
TikToks.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I'd be like, that, I don't know why that's funny, but I wouldn't say that to them. Oh, that's so good.
Hilarious.
And then I go in my office and go, I don't know what is happening. What is happening to comedy? But generally, like, I think I really relate to Paula in that as I got older in the business and got older as a writer and a performer and all that, watching younger people, start doing their new thing, just like Zenny and like Janelle, like seeing those new things. The immediate thing is to want to just shut it down of like, this is new, it's different, I don't get it. And then the more you soften up and say, well, what are parts of it that you like? Because it's okay. Sometimes it's not for you. Sometimes things aren't for you. But there are times where I have said, I'm going to check that person's stuff out. I saw one tiny clip and I thought I rolled my eyes and then I'm like, and then I'll watch a bunch of stuff. I'll be like, okay, I totally get it. I get why they're really great or really funny. And so I've related a lot to that where you have fear like this of time passing and becoming,
Irrelevant.
the thing before.
Yeah, it is so much about fear and what it can do. It can, if you let it take you over. And I think Janelle, I say this like on the poster, that is my exact like face that I would make my entire kind of career in this industry. Like, yeah, I got it. No worries, and just kind of like smiling your way through it. And I think that's so relatable to everyone of like kind of going into new space of people that you respect so much in this business, and you're like, I'm just here and I just want to make my own space, and it's hard.
I think it's also very specific to women in the business. Is to Janelle's trying to be nice still, and she's trying to not offend. Paula or anybody, just kind of like sitting there quietly hoping they'll discover me instead of taking the space. And then she finally takes the space and she goes for it, and she's out there directing, and she might be a little overwhelmed, but she's still doing it. And then Paula's kind of like, well, the old school way of like, I worked hard to get to where I'm at, and you should kind of keep yourself down. So it's a real story with about women too. In that, I think.
I love that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, with women in the studio system, and there's been a lot of growth, and there's been a lot of change, and I think that's great. And to your point, I think both of your characters kind of embrace some of the new stuff while also kind of maybe reverting to some of those tactics that might have been old school, right? In that mentality. But, again, what I love about this show is that it really does seem to be, and you guys are both touching on it, about change and this idea of accepting change. So I wanted to know for yourselves, like, what lessons do you think their journey offers about embracing change?
Oh, I mean, so much. I just went through a huge life change, and that I just became a mom 4.5 months
Congratulations.
ago. And it's huge, and it's this beautiful, all-encompassing thing, and it's made me just grow in so many places, but also second-guess myself. And I just feel like Janelle all the time of like, am I good enough? Am I doing this right? Which I realize there's no right in motherhood or in creativity. It's just,
Absolutely.
It really is what you make of it and what your experience is. So yeah, I think change is so scary, but like the show is, it's like what you do with that fear. It can be a positive thing and open all of these incredible boxes, or it can take you over and can make you bring out the darker parts of you.
I love that.
Correct. Yeah.
I have a tattoo that's from a beautiful poem, and it's "No feeling is final" is the line in this Rilke poem. And it says, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror, just keep going, no feeling is final." And it's been like really a mantra in my life in the last many years. I'm in my 60s, and I've been through, went through a big painful divorce. I've been through different things in my life, and like everyone has at this age. And I look at the kind of metaphor of this, of somebody who was this established, successful person, and she just had her office full of all her greatest hits, and then one by one they're all fading. And in our business especially, people just fade away, and then someone's the new hot thing, and it's like, who's that? And then people get young enough, they go, who's that? And so I think it's a very beautiful story of, if we all work together, get over our speed bumps of judging each other, then we'll actually find this common little sweet spot in the middle, and we'll still all be able to win. So I love that idea of change, of not judging as much and being part of that.
Yeah, and I think just to add to that really quick is like, what's beautiful is that everyone has these feelings, like, the anger and the joy and the envy, and it's just fun to see like her character and both my character, we both have these in different ways, even though we're, so different.
Yeah, even Rainbow Unicorn, who doesn't speak, is like pissed off, ticked off.
She's like,
that,
wait, what?
Oh, you're coming to me with this now, and you didn't need me then. And like, you can see everyone has their baggage.
Everybody, yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you guys touched on it. I think the journey that Paula and Janelle kind of go through is similar but different from that of joy and sadness in the original Inside Out.
Yeah.
But it has its own elements about embracing change and being together to lift each other up.
And that the truth is in the middle. It's not
Exactly.
all joy. It's not all sadness. It's not all, has been in the new burgeoning. It's this middle
I
part.
will say, a moment that has touched me so much in my life is that scene when the memory merges into one and makes a new emotion. I was just like, stop! It's too emotional.
Can't take it.
Absolutely,
good.
absolutely.
Genius.
Can't
Well,
take it.
I think people are going to love this show. I loved it. I think I was laughing out loud, and you guys were definitely at the core of why I was laughing.
Oh,
So,
that's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much.
well, thank you for joining us again on the Geekcentric podcast. Really means a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good
Great
to see you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.